wouldn't you agree that, you know, some of what you're having to deal with is just a bad start?
Sure. I mean, I think, you know, it's also, though, the challenge of leadership. The prior administration did not make explicit the fact that the treaty was not going to work. President Bush did, as indicated in my written testimony. That did earn the, undeservedly earn all the ill will that has been directed at the president and our strategy since then. And it's ironic because actually where I would depart from you when you aligned the president with some of the constituencies. It was the president in June of 2001, following the National Academy of Sciences report, said, this is what we know. The Academy's told us about some key uncertainties, but notwithstanding that, we need to take action now to begin to address this important problem. And he set in place a process that then I inherited when I came in June of 2001 after that, of running the policy that led to the 2002 climate policy strategic plan. So, you know, it's all the more ironic because the president himself, actually, as he should have, took the advice of the Academy and led probably the single most aggressive effort at the cabinet level.
Let me just tell you some other ironies.
Yeah.
Al Gore is right about global warming. It is a very real inconvenient truth, and it needs to be dealt with. I'd love to compare his house with President Bush's house. I'd love to compare it. So you have one who advocates dealing with global warming but doesn't practice it, and you have another president who has been, frankly, quiet about global warming, in my judgment, and practices dealing with it in his own personal life. That is one of the other huge ironies.
There's a wonderful USA Today story about the president's house down in Texas. It is a model of green building and environmental conservation.
Or when we hear the actors and actresses who complain about Humvees, driving up in long stretch limousines, flying in airplanes that make Humvees look like they get tremendous mileage. The irony in this debate, I hope once we get beyond all this, we'll start to deal with the reality of what we need to deal with. And I just say to you, I think it hasn't happened because of how we stepped into this debate. And I'm afraid, frankly, there's some on the religious right, whatever party, that have denied global warming, and when it finally happens, they're going to say, well, this is the fulfillment of the Bible and the destruction of humanity. I mean, it's just like, I hope we wake up. And I hope we wake up soon, and I encourage you to keep doing the good work you're doing, but I just wish you were more vocal about the good work you're doing.
Will the gentleman yield?
Yes.
You know, you mentioned everything except nuclear. Wouldn't you say it was notable that Dr. Hansen was very supportive of nuclear in every round of questioning, and yet, to be honest, Al Gore and his movie and all of the activities is a pushback from nuclear pretty consistently. Have you seen that interesting dichotomy that those who want us to deal with global warming have a tendency to be extremely anti-nuclear, even though it's a zero emissions?
There's no question that if you are serious about climate change, you have to be serious about nuclear, at least for the next many decades. It's the only baseload zero-emission source we've got. It has the smallest environmental footprint of any source we've got, and we know how to do it right. We've been doing it right in America for a long time, and the modern plants are even better than the older ones. So I use that as a gauge, actually, when I deal with people on climate change. If they're not open to a serious discussion of nuclear, I tend to find that their interest in the issue is more rhetorical than real.